So hello, my name is Karen Fabbri. I'm a Deputy Head of Unit of Bioeconomy and Food Systems within the Directorate General of Research and Innovation of the European Commission, which is part of a directorate called Healthy Planet. So I'm going to talk to you about our initiative called FOOD2030 to transform food systems through research and innovation policy and how this is going to be deployed within the context of Horizon Europe. So we now, with the new Commission, we now have a new policy context within which to orient our research and innovation activities. This is the new European Green Deal. Within the context of the new Commission, there are also other very interesting policy priorities which cover an economy that works for people, a Europe fit for the digital age, promoting our European way of life, a stronger Europe in the world, and a new push for European democracy. This new policy framework provides very exciting opportunities for food system research and innovation, and also relevant EU policies. So what's the aim of the European Green Deal? It's to make the EU the first climate neutral continent by 2050. And this should enable us to produce, move, and consume in a more environmentally responsible way through cleaner energy and green technologies, through a truly circular economy, and to protect biodiversity, and to ensure that the transition is just and socially fair. Now, one of the measures or elements that is contained with the European Green Deal is this farm-to-fork strategy for sustainable food systems that everyone is very keen on learning more about. Now, this strategy is expected to be adopted at the end of March, I think 25th of March, so it will be coming out very soon. So the objective will call for a transformation of food systems to make them more sustainable, to make them healthier, climate resilient, and also to provide new business opportunities for all actors in the food system, ranging from primary producers all the way to processors, retailers, food service sector operators, and also consumers and citizens. So a roadmap was published on the 17th of February for this farm-to-fork process, and the consultation remains open until the 16th of March. So you still have a few days to submit your reactions to this. The publication of the communication, along with its targets and action plan, is foreseen for the 25th of March. And for your information, we also have activated our scientific advice mechanism within the Commission that will publish an opinion on food systems also in spring of 2020. So there's some very interesting things happening with respect to food systems right now. So what have we done to get us to where we're at? Well, we have looked at the science very thoroughly to help us single out which could be the most important levers of change of this very complex system that is the food system. We've also explored the regulatory and policy context to see where it is that research and innovation can really also support the science policy interface. And we've been communicating over a number of years, not just communicating, but really convening and mobilizing all actors throughout the food system to see how we can work together in partnership to transform food systems. And it's within this context that we have developed the FOOD2030 research and innovation policy framework to future-proof our food system and nutrition. So we had a vision for food systems whereby by 2030 we could ensure that food systems become sustainable, responsible, diverse, ensure that they remain competitive, that they are inclusive, and that they are also resilient. So this is the vision that we built, through which we came to the realization that we needed to focus our work on delivering 4 priorities that we also use as co-benefits. The first is nutrition for sustainable and healthy diets, which basically covers everything that deals with eating healthy and safe food. The second priority is to achieve climate smart and environmentally sustainable food systems that can help mitigate climate change and also adapt to climate change. The third priority or co-benefit is circularity and resource efficiency in food systems, and finally, innovation and empowerment of communities. And by communities, we mean neighborhoods, we mean cities, we mean regions. And how can we do this? Well, by deploying research and innovation through to achieve research breakthroughs, to foster innovation and investment, and also alignment of research and innovation across funders, to foster open science, education and skills, and ensure that we also collaborate very closely with our international partners. So this slide shows our Food 2030 journey, which began in 2015 during the World Expo held in Milan, which was focused on food systems. And it's during that occasion that the European Commission had over 200 events. And one outcome of that process was that a number of commissioners got together and agreed that we needed to have what we called back then a European research area for food systems. And it's this notion of a European research area that then we renamed Food 2030. So since then, we've had a number of high-level events, again, mobilizing various services within the Commission, commissioners, so at very high, let's say at political level, and also multiple actors across the food system. We have set up an expert group of 12 very renowned experts to help us do a kind of assessment, take stock of where, what the achievements had been until then, and propose some recommendations. We worked together across services of the Commission. Many DGs put their heads together to write a baseline document, which was our staff working document that came out in 2016. And within that document, there were a number of recommendations. And it's been on these recommendations that we have been working now for the past few years. So since its start, we've had, as I said, a number of events, and we are now very keen to see how we can put together some milestones to get us to the UN World Food Summit in 2021. And I think that within that context, there is room to showcase how research and innovation can make a difference in driving food system transformation. So other achievements include a whole series of publications that have tried to really bring together many ideas from stakeholders on how we should be transforming food systems. So I invite you to consult those particular publications on our website. And we have set up the FIT4Food 2030 engagement platform. And of course, you'll be hearing more about that. Now, just to mention that within the context of the engagement platform of Fit4Food, we really try to build in the need to foster responsible research and innovation so as to bring in civil society and multiple actors to sit together and upstream and throughout the research and innovation process. So this is a very important platform for us to help us deploy Food 2030 within cities, within regions, within, also at national level. The Food 2030 expert group delivered a very interesting and valuable report on our past achievements and provided recommendations of where we should be focusing our future research and innovation efforts. Another very interesting piece of work has been done by the member states through the Standing Committee for Agricultural Research. They have set up a working group dedicated to food systems, and they did a mapping exercise within 8 or 9 countries where they tried to examine exactly where they were placing their research and innovation funding. So in which areas of food systems were they dedicating research and innovation funds? So this is a very interesting report to see how different member states are reacting to food systems research and innovation. So we put all that information together from our events, from the reports, from the publications, from these stakeholder consultations, And in view of Horizon Europe, we were asking ourselves, well, what can we do to actually now move towards action within the context of the new framework program? And so we developed a concept of 10 Food 2030 pathways for action. Now, all of these actions, how do we pick them? Well, we know that they're leverage points for systems change. All of these can actually contribute to delivering multiple benefits, so co-benefits, to our Food 2030 priorities. The first one of these pathways is governance and systems change. The second is food system transformation, urban food system transformation. Then we had food from the oceans and freshwater resources. Then proteins and dietary shift, food waste reduction, and also that includes a portion on packaging, microbiome world, then healthy and sustainable personalized nutrition, food safety systems of the future, food systems Africa, and finally food systems and data. So these are the areas that we think have great potential in terms of research and innovation that we would like to drive through Horizon Europe, in particular through the intervention area on food systems. So how do we see Food 2030 be deployed? This is a diagram that shows in the orange part how we would like to use different instruments and parts of Horizon Europe programming, the more traditional forms of programming for collaborative research. We see a role for a food systems partnership under Horizon Europe that could play a role in bringing together a wide diversity of actors and to help align research and innovation. Then in green, you have our activities that relate to working with regions, with cities, with the presidencies, in the international context also, and the work through the Standing Committee for Agricultural Research, for example. And in the purple areas, you see our work that relates to bringing in foundations, so seeing how we can better align our work with industry, with foundations, also trying to see how we can create synergies with other funds that exist today. So this is how we would like to deploy within the future years, how we could deploy Food 2030 within Horizon Europe and, of course, beyond. Then I have just a few words I'd like to say on how Horizon Europe is structured. There are three main pillars under Horizon Europe, and much of the work on food systems will be done in Pillar 2. In a cluster that groups together food, bioeconomy, natural resources, agriculture, and environment. And within that cluster, there are a number of intervention areas, and one intervention area is food systems. Another intervention area that is extremely relevant is agriculture, forestry, and rural areas. But food systems, elements of food systems will in fact be dealt with also in other pillars, but the other pillars are more of a bottom-up process. So I think we will see many opportunities for food systems research and innovation throughout Horizon Europe, either through the dedicated intervention area or through the other pillars. Just a word on missions now. So missions are a new concept for Horizon Europe. They're really meant to be big campaigns where we mobilize multiple actors and policymakers and citizens around very targeted issues where we think we can make a difference within the next few years. There are 5 mission areas. The first is adaptation to climate change, including societal transformation. Then we have a mission on cancer, which we suspect may have some elements in relation to cancer prevention that could be linked to nutrition, for instance. We have a mission on healthy ocean, seas, coastal and inland waters, another one on climate neutral and smart cities, and finally one on soil health and food. So please do keep your eyes on these missions. We have mission boards that have been set up for these, and they're currently in the process of coming up with scoping papers to see which specific areas or which targets could be addressed in these big mission campaigns. I mentioned that we would have a food systems partnership. So the title of this partnership will be called Safe and Sustainable Food Systems for People, Planet, and Climate. And the idea there is really to encourage a better research and innovation policy governance, from portfolio management to strategic long-term impact on food systems through better alignment, leveraging, and investments. And this partnership, which we expect will probably be rolled out officially in 2023, will also need to link up with other new partnerships that are being proposed. For instance, there's one on agroecology, another one linked to agriculture and data, another one on biodiversity, on cities, on circular bio-based sectors. So there's, I think, much possibility for cooperation also with other partnerships. So that's all I have to say to you today, and I'd like to thank you very, very much for your attention. If you do want to follow our activities, we do have a stakeholder list that you can register to, and you can find us also on Twitter through the hashtag FOOD2030EU if you want to converse with us and stay tuned of our activities. Many thanks.